Hi class. I just want to finish up chapter 5 for our lifespan class, Psych 2314. Want to address here a little bit about children's play and also gender development in early childhood. So let's talk a little bit about how children play and how they learn to play. At 6 months, remember what a 6-month-old can do. They're probably sitting up fairly well. They're probably starting to crawl. They might be starting to babble. Two 6-month-olds sitting next to each other might look at each other, smile, maybe do a little bit of pointing, but that's really about the extent of it. If you're having a play date between two 6-month-olds, that's really for the moms, not really for the children. By 12 months, we see what is called parallel play, in which the children really are playing alone, but they're very interested in what the other child is doing. Okay, so they're going to sit side by side. They're interested in the other child, but they're really kind of playing their own little game. By 15 to 18 months, you do start to see some simple social play in which they'll do similar activities. They might talk or smile at each other while they do it. So maybe they're both sitting there with some toys and playing with the same toys. Maybe they pass a toy back and forth to each other. There's no coordinated game here. There's no storyline, nothing complex, just simple social play. By about age 2, you start to see what's called cooperative play. Where they start to take on themes, and children play special roles. They might play hide and seek. They might decide they're going to play Barbies. Maybe they'll decide to play house. It was fun to watch my daughter when she met the little girl who's now her best friend. Hannah was 2 and Kaylee was 18 months. And this meant that Kaylee, as an 18-month-old, was really still in simple social play, but Hannah, at age 2, was really, really ready for cooperative play. And she loved Kaylee, and she would chase her around and try to get her to play games with her, but Kaylee really wasn't ready. She would smile at Hannah, but wasn't really ready to engage in some real play together. It was a little bit frustrating for Hannah for a little bit, but Kaylee caught up, and now they're best friends. So what is this cooperative play that they start to engage in at around age 2? Well, make-believe play is a very important part of their play. And when kids are engaging in make-believe or pretend play, they're doing a lot of things. They are learning about and expressing the values and traditions in their culture. So this picture shows this little girl grocery shopping, and this is an expression of what she sees her mom do. She's sort of taking on her mom's role when she's playing this game. That's why little kids have kitchen sets, and they'll set up restaurants and play that, and they have toy tool sets, and they'll play that because they see Dad doing that. It is really fun for them, and it also promotes their cognitive development as they learn all kinds of social skills and sort of what to do in their culture. It also can help children to explore scary topics. When my son Ethan was he was about 2, and I would drop him off at the church nursery. We were at a really, really small church, and there was only usually 2 or 3 kids there at a time. And there was a little boy named Matthew who was pretty aggressive, and he had a bad habit of throwing trucks across the room. And this really scared Ethan, and we would talk about it at home, and we would use play as a way to explore this scary topic. We would get his little people characters out, and we would say, okay, here's the Sunday school teacher, and here's Matthew, and here's Ethan, and we would play act that Matthew throws a truck at Ethan, and we would play act, what does Ethan do? What does Ethan feel? And this kind of helped him to work through that. It also helped him in a really concrete way to think through and practice, what can I do if this boy acts like this? What are my options? Imaginary playmates. Did you ever have an imaginary playmate as a child? I didn't, but sometimes we often hear about this. It's not very common, but the big question is always, oh my word, he's playing with an imaginary playmate. That's weird. Is that okay? Well, yeah, it is perfectly fine. And in fact, what is found is that kids who have an imaginary playmate tend to be more creative than other kids. It's sort of a sign of their creativity. It promotes imagination, sociability, and social adjustment. It's actually totally fine for a kid to have a pretend friend. Pretend play becomes a regular part of preschoolers' play by about 16 to 18 months. They're starting to understand the difference between what's pretend and what's real. And this sort of sets that stage for starting to play make-believe play at around age 2 or so. What about the kid who plays by himself? This is not usually an indicator of any kind of problem. Possibly the kid is a little bit uneasy with others, and maybe you do need to do a little intervention. If you see a kid wandering aimlessly around other kids, that might be a sign of a problem. If they hover over others who are playing and can't seem to join in, they might need some help. But if they're busily building a block tower or coloring something or doing a puzzle, and they're busy and they're occupied, and maybe they even do that for quite a long time, probably nothing wrong with that. You want to watch out for the aimless wandering and the hovering where they seem unable to join a play group. All right, let's switch topics and talk a little bit about gender.